guys? Prince Sports here. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff. Yo, as you know, pretty soon, the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, will be a free agent. All right? Now, a lot of us think that he's not going to sign with the Milwaukee Bucks again. So that leaves us, what is the best teams that Giannis could sign to that could possibly win him a championship or multiple championships? Okay? I'm going to go over, let's do 5 legit teams. Okay? Number 5, I get as the Dallas Mavericks. Okay? I think the Dallas Mavericks is a good team he could join to try to win the championship with. You got Luka there and you got Porzingis there. That could be your big 3. And they got a good cast of role players on that Dallas Mavericks team. So Giannis going to Dallas, he would instantly be the number 1 guy on that team. He'd be the biggest star on that team. And him and Luka could pair up and make a big tag team duo. And probably be arguably one of the best tag team duos in the NBA. That I would love to see, okay? They'd be playing in the West, so competition will still be a bit tough to get by. But with those 3 guys on one team, man, anything's possible. And Mark Cuban does a good job of signing good players. He could pick good role players around those 3 guys, and they'd be taking off. Now, number 4, I know you guys hate pitting this team because this team is always in the mix of guys going to their team. And that team is none other than the Los Angeles Lakers, okay? If they could find a way to get Giannis, keep Anthony Davis, and LeBron, you have yourself a real big 3. That'd be arguably 3 of the top 5 best players in the world on one team. So, yeah, that'd be the very definition of a super team. But I think that would hurt each and every one of those guys' legacy because they'd be playing with too much talent. And you got to take in part that 3 of those guys will be eating up a lot of that salary cap, and the rest of that roster won't be as good as you may think it be. You know, you have to get a lot of guys for cheap on the fly. And it won't be that easy to land Giannis on the Lakers. But, man, that team could take off and win 2 to 3 championships already as LeBron starts to decline. Number 3 is easy, too. Is the Golden State Warriors. You pair Giannis out with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And if you still get to keep Draymond Green to play his role, you know, he could still average his triple single. No, but in all fairness, you pit Giannis with those 2 sharpshooters. That team could go off and win some championships. You got a guy in Giannis that could take over a game. He's not good of a shooter as, let's say, Kevin Durant was. But who needs that when you get Klay Thompson and Steph Curry to do a majority of that shooting? So that is one hell of a team to have around Giannis. All right? And they could go off and perhaps do a 3-peat. I mean, Steph could probably finish his career with, like, you know, 6 championships or something like that. Now, my number 2 and 3 are the most respectable teams that he could win championships with. He would have to earn it a little more harder, but I think it'd be more credible towards his career and his legacy. Because remember, when you win, it's not just about winning sometimes, it's how you win. And number 2 would be the Miami Heat. If you pair him up with Jimmy Butler, with that cast, and they could go to the finals with that cast, and they would just have to see a Western Conference team in the finals, and hopefully they could be able to get over the hump. But they would have to earn it the hard way, so to speak, by being on the Miami Heat. And if you could stick 2 championships in there, those 2 championships would be more credible than winning championships with those other teams I just mentioned. Now, that brings me down to number 1. Okay? The number 1 team that he could win championships with is none other, and still keep the best credit and be the alpha on the team, is none other than the Toronto Raptors. If he's willing to go to Toronto, team up with Siakam, Serge, you know, they could re-sign some of those athletic wings, perimeter players. That team would be dangerous, man. You could have Fred VanVleet, if he resigns, with Siakam and Giannis. That'd be your big three. Then you could resign Serge. He'd be up there in age a little bit, but Marc Gasol and all those other guys, that team would be dangerous. The Toronto Raptors would be dangerous, and they would be more evened out to beat a Western Conference team. So if he could win 2 more championships for the Toronto Raptors and add to his resume, man, that'd be big for his legacy. And he would get it a more harder way, so to speak. And the narrative around that would be, hey, he just won the championship with Fred VanVleet, and his second best player would have been Siakam. So it just have been those tag team duos of those athletic wings, man. You would have Siakam at the 4, Giannis at the 3, Marc Gasol at the 5, or you could put Serge in there, if he re-signed. You would have your number 1 play the point guard position, and Fred VanVleet. Man, that'd be one hell of a starting lineup, man. That'd be a great starting lineup. You could move around with that starting lineup too, man, and move the pieces around. You could probably move Giannis to the 2. I mean, even though that's an extreme, but if you have enough shooters around him, you could get away with something like that. Then you could throw Serge and have Serge and Siakam be the 3 and 4. Have Siakam be the 3. And man, that'd be one hell of a starting lineup, man. I mean, if you find the right coach, you could execute a good plan around that, and you could possibly win a lot of championships with that. So Toronto Raptors are the best team for Giannis Antetokounmpo to sign to if he wants to win multiple championships, and his legacy won't be tarnished. People won't say he stacked the deck with a super team neither. So that'd be perfect for Giannis. Prince Sports out. Keep it 3000. Peace.